Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Deep Thoughts, and I'm gonna try to keep this one kind of brief, and I know that might be a little bit upsetting, but I have had the worst stomach pains I think I've ever had in my life. And I can't, by the time you're seeing this, I still can't go to the doctor until the day after, because it's Canada Day, I think, by the time you guys are seeing this. So everything's closed in my neck of the woods, including my family doctor, so that's just great. So I don't really want to do anything. I just kind of want to go lie down. I'm not feeling really great. Now, that said, I did want to make sure that I got a Demon Slayer video out to you guys, and this episode was pretty friggin' spectacular, so let's go ahead and dive right into this. Demon Slayer episode 13. So I'm gonna kind of go out of order on this one, which is a little different, but I kind of want to save all my thoughts on Zenitsu and all that to the end. So instead, I'm going to point out that we see the end of the Tanjiro versus Kyogai fight, and this fight, Ufotable brings it in a way that I haven't seen from them in a while. Like this show has had stellar animation, that's not in question at all. But the way this room flips around, the way it flips around and spins, especially when Kyogai starts going insane on the Suzumi, and the room starts spinning almost consistent, not just side to side, but I mean all over the damn place, 360 spinning nonstop. And you see Tanjiro trying his best to try to land, even just land, but he can't because he's constantly in the air because the room won't stop spinning. And he even says I'm getting real dizzy, and you believe it, man. In that moment, it is wild, the amount that because it's CG, but the way that it blends with Tanjiro and Kyogai, it is insanely well done. We even get to see a new breathing technique, at least one that I don't remember. I'm pretty sure this is brand new, and that's turbulent, where Tanjiro is bouncing off the sides of the sides of the walls and the floor and the roof, and you see these water almost a splashes as he hops from spot to spot. It's he's slamming into what should be water. It just looks really friggin' dope. Anytime we get to see the breathing techniques, it looks. I know anime is meant to be manga come to life, but I think you guys know what I mean when I say that looks like a manga come to life. That looks like a painting come to life every time we see some sort of technique, especially from Tanjiro and his water techniques, and it's really, really friggin' cool. The animation, it's Ufotable, so you probably already can guess, but the animation is top notch in this one, really friggin' impressive. But it's not just the animation that's impressive. We also get to see Tanjiro proving Super Eye Patch Wolf right in the man's newest video. I believe that was his spring favorites. I don't remember. I just know that I saw an Eye Patch Wolf video recently, his newest one, where he talks about how Tanjiro is a good boy who works hard. And Tanjiro very much is a good boy who works hard. And what I appreciate is that we do see him working his butt off. I mean, the man is jumping across the room that is spinning while his bones are broken. So he's on that Deku level of I'm just gonna break my bones to get the job done. It's not a big deal. Don't even worry about it. But it's I don't know. The man just really impressed me in this episode, especially when he has that moment of okay, I can't just be I can do this because I'm the oldest. It can't just be heart. I need to think. And and that's where we get turbulent. And just the fact that he actually has that thought. Most shonen protagonists are just I'm just gonna throw myself at the problem enough times until eventually it breaks. Whereas Tanjiro has the point of okay, this isn't working. I need to think. And he actually does calm down. He actually realizes okay, if I step quickly and I keep my breathing light, I can actually get across the room much faster, and I should be able to get to Kyogai. And I even like that Tanjiro has the moment of asking Kyogai his name, which does catch the demon off guard, and he's I'm Kyogai, and he says okay, Kyogai, I'm impressed, but I cannot forgive what you've done, and I'm gonna stop you. And of course, Kyogai's okay, bud. And he does the super quick, I can't even remember what he says, but he does the super quick Suzumi. And it's a really impressive scene, the whole fight between Kyogai and Tanjiro. And Tanjiro, man, he is the ultimate sportsman. If you know, like, and by that I mean he just has good sportsmanship. I can't really explain it any other way. He's just a good, like, even in the midst of a fight, the last, or what he probably thought would be the last thing he says to Kyogai is Kyogai, and he catches Kyogai off guard because he calls him by his name again, and he says, like, your blood technique was amazing, like, it was or whatever he said, like, amazing or incredible or something like that, like, just like it's amazing. And then he chops the damn dude's head off. I mean, because, you know, it's got to be done. He was gonna kill him, but at the same time, like, in that moment, he doesn't focus on getting the kill. He also has to say, like, dude, good fight, and then kill him. And it leads to Kyogai sort of breaking down, and we see a flashback. We see a flashback for Kyogai during the midst of the fight when Tanjiro, like, doesn't step on the, or maybe it was before that, but we learn that Kyogai wanted to be a writer. He wanted to, or at least teach, like, either be a writer or teach writing, like teach literature in some sense, because we do hear the guy who's, like, berating him in the background say, like, not that you, like, you should probably stick to the Suzumi, man, like, since you've been inside all this time, and not that you could even really teach that. So the fact that he said not that you could even really teach that well, I think he wanted to be some sort of teacher, like a literature teacher or something. Maybe I'm, like, misreading that scene, but either way, he wanted to do something with writing. And it's sort of seeing the man break down and, like, start crying. This is not the first time we've seen a demon cry at the end, and it's, I don't know, the show really has a way of, like, making you care about these, like, not side characters, but these characters who you're never gonna see again. They're dead. So, like, they really nail the sympathy for the devil sort of element of the show, where Tanjiro, and he doesn't, you know, like, Tanjiro even says, like, rest in peace, man. Like, it's not, he doesn't feel good. He doesn't get joy out of bringing pain to these demons. Like, it's just something the man has to do because he's a demon slayer. Like, and they're in the way. And he even says, like, yes, your technique was amazing, but I can never forgive you for what you've done. And it didn't matter, because at the end, Kyogai was just like, my Suzumi playing and my writing were finally recognized, even if Tanjiro didn't even know that he was doing it. And it was a really well-handled scene. But enough about that, because now I want to talk about my boy Zenitsu. And Zenitsu, in the beginning of the episode, reminded me so much of Luigi from Luigi's Mansion. Like, specifically Luigi from Luigi's Mansion, not just regular Luigi. Although I will say, Zenitsu and Tanjiro really are sort of Mario and Luigi. And I mean that in the sense that Tanjiro's clearly the main character, Zenitsu's clearly player 2, but Zenitsu has a heart of gold, and we see that big time in this episode. When Tanjiro runs out with the kids and sees Zenitsu getting, like, kicked by Boar Guy, whose name I'm still not super familiar with, but Boar Guy, like, kicking Zenitsu, and we see him, like, all beat up and, like, really hurt, and you're thinking, like, what in the high hell? What happened? And we find out, because we immediately, we like, let's go back, and we go back and we see Zenitsu diving to protect the box, who we know who's inside the box, but all Zenitsu knows is, like, at first the audience is led to believe that all Zenitsu knows is that it's precious to Tanjiro. And the Boar Guy says, like, okay, if you saw me, because we do learn that the Boar Guy was the one who, like, bolted. He's the one who was too impatient at the at the end of their I don't know, their exam. At the end of the exam, like, he's the one who ran. I find that really fascinating. But he even says, like, I'm a demon slayer like you, and the guy's like, oh yeah, well then you should know that there's a demon in that box and you should move. And then Zenitsu drops the bomb that he knew the whole time, but he trusts Tanjiro so implicitly. Like, the sound, quote unquote, that Tanjiro makes is enough to almost make Zenitsu cry just by being around him. He trusts him that much. And the fact that he trusts him that much, he knows that even though there is a demon in this box that Tanjiro carries around with him, whoever it is precious enough to him that he's willing to basically like throw away his life in this case, like, because he, for all he knows, the boar guy is gonna stab him, but he's like, nope, I'm not budging, I'm not leaving. And he even has the like Zenitsu, Tanjiro, you said this was important to you more than your life, so I'm like trying to protect it with everything I got. And I was like, Zenitsu, my damn boy. Oh my god, I never want to hear a bad word about Zenitsu again. My son. Now, we know that it's Nezuko in the box, right? So we know who it is. But the fact that Zenitsu had no clue who it is. Now, we do see in the ED that clearly Zenitsu is going to have to kind of start to fall for Nezuko. And I can kind of get on board on that. But, like, it's impressive to me that he doesn't know who it is, doesn't know why it is, you know what I mean? But he's still willing to throw everything away because he knows that this is more precious to Tanjiro than anything. And Tanjiro's been good to him, and he trusts Tanjiro so implicitly that, like, he's fine with this. And, like, he's such a good boy. He is the Luigi to Tanjiro's Mario. And the last thing I gotta note is, while I do like Boar Guy, and we clearly see in the ED that everybody's gonna become all buddy-buddy hunky-dory to some extent. We do know that Boar Guy's probably gonna be, like, the loud, crazy one that everyone just sort of puts up with. But we do know eventually they do kind of form, like, a wolf pack, if you will. But I do think Boar Guy needs an absolute ass whooping. I don't want anything life-threatening, because again, I do like Boar Guy. But after he started kicking around my boy and threatened the greatness that is Nezuko, even though he didn't know, he doesn't know anything. You gotta give him some sort of leeway. To him, it's like, there's a demon in a box. I don't care who you guys are. I am a demon slayer. That is what I do. Move out of the way. I get it. But it still needs an ass whooping. And I know Tanjiro's bones are broken and it's gonna be very hard, but Tanjiro, my son, please give Boar Guy an ass whooping and then make him feel better later, but like ass whooping first. Overall, my overall thoughts on the episode, I would give it a strong B. It's a really strong, like, character strong episode. You know what? B+. Really strong character episode. Strong B+, light A-. It gets better and better every time I think about it, apparently. But yeah, just solid episode, really impressed. But on that note, everybody, I'm gonna end this episode and go lie down. So if you enjoyed today's video and you feel like I earned it, then by all means hitting that like button and sharing the video around on the internet, that'd be super rad of you. And if you're new to the channel and you'd like to stick around and check out more from me, then by all means hit that subscribe button and ring that bell to join the good ones. Of course, as always, before we go, I have to give a big shout out to the good folks over on Patreon, namely those in the Earl Grey tier: Dominic, Urza, No For Nothing, Maria Teresa, Omner Garamond, Opinionated Slime, Shadow Creative, Sipco Games, Tristan, and Verdon. Thank you all so much for your continued support. Wish me luck. I have no idea what's going on with my gut. I have been feeling not like in pain, but just sort of weird for like the last week and change, like over a week now. I've just been feeling kind of weird, but yeah, wish me luck, and until our next meeting, stay rad and don't scary.